A new randomised control trial has kind of shaken the scientific world by producing some, quote, highly unusual results. So you don't want to miss this one. Researchers wanted to look at the effect that a very short but intense oatmeal diet had on the body. There were 2 phases to the trial. In the first one, they took 32 men and women with metabolic syndrome who were at high risk of stroke, heart disease and type 2 diabetes. And for 48 hours, they were asked to exclusively eat oatmeal 3 times a day, which they had boiled in water. They were only allowed to add a very small amount of fruit or vegetables to their meals. They ate 300 grams of oatmeal on each of the 2 days and only consumed around half of their normal calories. Then there was a control group who also ate half their normal calories, but that did not include oats. So this study design let researchers isolate what effect specifically oats had beyond calorie reduction. The second phase was a 6-week diet in which the participants consumed just 80 grams of oats per day without any other restrictions. For both phases, blood and stool samples were taken before the participants made any changes. Their blood pressure, weight, height, waist size and body fat were also measured. A second examination took place immediately after the 2-day oat-based diet, followed by 3 others after 2, 4 and 6 weeks. The same analysis was conducted on these 4 visits as during the initial examination, and further blood and stool samples were collected. The researchers took the same approach during the second nutritional study, in which the subjects consumed 80 grams of oatmeal a day for 6 weeks. So what did they find? Well, the first few stats, whilst extremely impressive, are perhaps not surprising, but it's the final finding, which we'll look at in a moment, that blew everyone away. So firstly, compared with the control group, in just 48 hours, the oatmeal group experienced a 10% drop in LDL cholesterol. And in such a short amount of time, this was described as remarkable and a substantial reduction. The participants also lost on average 4.4 pounds in weight. They experienced a small but significant reduction in blood pressure and improved blood sugar regulation. And what perplexed the scientist was that the cholesterol improvements persisted for 6 weeks, even after normal eating resumed. And this persistence is highly unusual for such a short dietary intervention. The question then arose, why did the oatmeal work so quickly? And perhaps this is the most important scientific finding of the study. The researchers found that oats rapidly change the gut microbiome, and the microbes then produce compounds that actively lower cholesterol. They knew oats contain polyphenols, but they found that gut bacteria convert these into phenolic metabolites called ferulic acid and dihydroferulic acid. And it's these compounds that produce these rapid effects, like improving cholesterol metabolism, reducing insulin resistance, and improving lipid processing in the liver. And this mechanism is separate from fibre alone, concluding that the gut microbiome transformation was critical to the results seen. What was also incredible was that the 2 days way outperformed the 6 weeks of oats. And we think it's because 300 grams per day floods the microbiome with substrates, and replacing all meals created almost like a metabolic reset. And the gut bacteria shift rapidly under intense dietary change. This explains why the short, high-dose oatmeal reset works better than small daily amounts. And again, that 10% LDL reduction in just 48 hours is remarkable, as many cholesterol drugs take weeks to months to reach similar reductions. Of course, oatmeal doesn't replace medication, but it shows powerful metabolic improvement can happen extremely quickly through diet alone. So why is this also significant? Well, it shows short, intense oatmeal dietary intervention can rapidly reprogram gut bacteria, triggering long-lasting metabolic benefits. It's important to note that one of the funders was the German Cereal Processing, Milling and Starch Industries Association, but that doesn't mean we have to discount the remarkable findings, as a maverick doctor in 1903 saw similar miraculous results, curing patients with something called the oatmeal diet. We discussed his amazing findings in this video. To view it, you can click the middle of the screen now, but it will also be pinned to the top of the comments below.